Okay, I'm just going to kind of narrate this because I feel that this might be going over a lot of people's heads. So,
Save the propane. It got pretty hot though. Look at this tree. And this is what I find rather curious, if you don't mind me saying. How does a tree burn from the inside out?
Did you hear that? How's a tree burn from the inside out?
Things has been happening with this fire, and the one in Redding. That, yes, it feeds into a lot of conspiracy stories, and I tell you, conspiracy stories are really interesting until you're right in the middle of one. And this fire is burning hotter than normal fires. It melts glass and metal and steel. And that's not
and leaves trees.
We came up and it took our breath away. I mean, the devastation is just so great out there. It's everywhere. Well, this is the most severe fire I've ever seen. This here is a prime example of one of the big dangers on why we're concerned on letting citizens back into the
look at that
paradise, Concal and Magalia, because this is exactly what we're scared of. What happens is the deep roots in this thing leave holes like we can see over here, and the fire burned down in there, so it just sits down in there and smolders.
He has no idea what he's talking about.
And eventually, this tree would have fallen down.
There's a chance of rain near Thanksgiving, and
he doesn't even see what he's looking at.
The rain, that is. They're already planning on being out here, working through the holidays.
Look at that.
This here is a prime example of one of the big dangers on why we're concerned on letting citizens back into that. This is exactly what we're scared of. What happens is the deep roots in this thing leave holes like we can see over here, and the fire burned down in there, so it just sits down in there and smolders and smolders and slowly eats away at the inside of this trunk, and eventually
look at the buildings in the background and look at the tree. The tree didn't burn. There's still leaves on the trees.
It got pretty hot though. Look at this tree. And this is what I find rather curious, if you don't mind me saying. How does a tree burn from the inside out? How does a tree burn from the inside out? How does a tree burn from the inside out?
Unless lightning strikes it.
There's a lot of strange things that have been happening with this fire, and the one in Redding. Yes.
Look at the wood chips on the ground. Look at the leaves on the ground. The leaves are still there, but the freaking plastic got caught on fire. And that
Fire is burning hotter than normal fires. It melts glass and metal and steel. And that's not a typical wood fire.
Look at the guardrail posts, man. Those are supposed to be fire retardant. Where are the wheels? There are no rubber wheels. The rubber, in order to get hot enough to melt the rubber, are you kidding me? There's nothing even around that that's burning. All the trees are there. I'm pretty sure this is a metal post we're looking at. Right there. It's a metal post. How does rubber get burned off of tires? How does metal melt out of a wood fire?
This fire is burning hotter than normal fires. It melts glass and metal and steel.
Glass is 2,500, 2,700 degrees? No wheels. Look at the metal on the ground. These are not normal fires. Anybody that thinks they are is just blind. This does not happen.
This fire is burning hotter.
Look at that.
than normal fires. It melts glass and metal.
Freaking caliper. Look, everything is melted.
Wood fire.
Look at that. That does not happen in regular wildland fires. I was a wildland firefighter. I've never experienced anything like that.
Staying behind and trying to put out the fire.
Look at this
right on the
whole
edge
hillside.
of the property. And this is that video. You can see here stacks of stuff on fire. The walls all burnt. And this is that video. You can see here stacks of stuff on fire. The walls all burnt.
How does concrete get burned? How does it incinerate? How does it get that hot? What temperature does it have to get to melt concrete, to vaporize it? What?
He was up 40 hours straight trying to keep the fire at bay because the fire trucks had other fires to deal with. You can see here the fence is all burnt down. The land is all scorched. You can see right off into the distance there how much he's having to deal with. And he's just constantly spraying. This is a neighbour of ours called Dan. To try and desperately try and stop the trees from catching fire. Because these trees, once they catch fire, they would spread, obviously, from tree to tree very, very quickly. And it's already spread an awful long way to get to here. It's burnt, like I said, about 2 acres. You can see there the fence again on fire. So this was critical. If these trees caught fire, it would burn all the rest of the properties. So he's working really, really hard here to try and keep the fire from spreading any further than it already has. So obviously I heard that he'd kept the fire away from the house, and there was fires straight away that I had to fight in my bare feet because I didn't have time to put shoes on from swimming ashore, and you can see the state of my feet and these fires popping up the whole time. So I spent time fighting the fires. All the time you've got this threat of other fires starting up. You see all this smoke coming back across, and then as the sun set and it went dark, you could just see loads of embers burning. The winds would whip up again and start putting the embers. So we just took it in shifts, sleeping an hour at a time, trying to put out the fires. And here you can see exactly how far it got. That was the PCH being burnt. This is the land at the front of our house. You can see this is all completely burnt away here. You can see where it was stopped by a hose. This is a neighbour's property, and we would just do laps for days, just putting out fires, keeping it from catching any more and burning down the houses. This is some construction that was going on for one of our neighbours. You can see it's completely burnt away.
this construction area is all burnt. And these trees, you know, catching fire and burning down, and then all the embers would just keep spreading. So we just do laps. We just walk around here on the first day.